The possibility of a large-scale conflict or war involving India, Pakistan and potentially even China is becoming a real concern in the coming months. The situation has grown, you see, especially tense after a deadly terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, where 26 Indian tourists were killed. India has blamed Pakistan-based militant groups for the incident and has responded with strong diplomatic actions. And which are these diplomatic actions? India expelled diplomats and suspended key bilateral arrangements like the Indus Water Treaty. Now, what makes the scenario even more serious is China's increasing military and technological support to Pakistan, which includes advanced weapons and surveillance systems. At the same time, India's own border disputes with China remain unresolved, especially in the state of Arunachal Pradesh and also following the deadly 2020 Galwan Valley clash in the Ladakh region. Now, in such a scenario, a two-front war with Pakistan and China, along with internal security threats like Naxalism, Northeast insurgency, has become a real possibility for India. And how has India responded or reacted? India has reacted firmly. The government has granted full operational freedom to the military. And the recent missile test by the Indian Navy has sent a signal of preparedness from India. Pakistan, while denying any involvement in the Pahalgam attack, has warned of retaliation if attacked. This tit-for-tat dynamic is nothing new in the region, right? But what makes this time different is the scale and complexity of modern warfare. Conflicts today are fought not just on the battlefield, but also in cyberspace, satellites, and economic front lines. Now, please remember, one of the biggest concerns is the nuclear angle between both India and Pakistan. Both the countries we know have nuclear weapons, and a single miscalculation or overreaction could turn a conventional skirmish, that is fight or tussle, into a catastrophic nuclear exchange. Pakistan has previously hinted at using nuclear weapons if it pursues an existential threat, making the stakes extremely high in the region. Any such escalation would not only devastate the region but also destabilize the global peace and economy. Now, adding to the complexity is the Dragon China, a close partner to Pakistan. China has invested heavily in projects like the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now, although China has a lot to lose economically from an all-out war, its military footprint in South Asia and the Indo-Pacific is growing. India must be prepared for a scenario where China could offer not just diplomatic but logistical or military support to Pakistan. We all know that, right? And this raises the fear of a two-front war that India must seriously prepare for. This is where India's concept of two-and-a-half-front war becomes extremely critical. Two-and-a-half-front war refers to potential external threats from Pakistan and China and internal challenges like terrorism or insurgency in Naxalite areas or let's say Northeast. To tackle this, India is creating integrated theatre commands and boosting its capabilities in cyber and space warfare. In short, India is no longer only preparing for boots on ground battles, but is also investing in a future ready defense strategy, right? Now, economically, India is in a relatively better position. With a defense budget of around $75 billion and a foreign exchange reserves of close to $700 billion, India can sustain a longer conflict compared to Pakistan's limited financial capacity. But war is expensive for everyone. Prolonged conflict would stretch budgets, it can disrupt supply chains and raise fuel prices and lead to inflation. And who has to face the hardship? The public. Now, talking about China, to avoid a war with China, the experts suggest that India must build a strong deterrence mechanism. Why? Because China is very strong. This means India has to invest heavily in border infrastructure, high altitude military bases, and quick mobilization systems. India also needs to enhance naval power in the Indo-Pacific to match the presence of China and also to secure our trade routes. Now, strengthening the strategic alliances with like-minded nations, participating in military exercises and deepening defense cooperation with countries like the US, Japan, Australia, the Quad group will send a strong message or signal that India is not isolated. In essence, China will think twice before provoking a strong and well prepared India. However, the loudest voices should not always be those calling for war. Many seasoned diplomats and defense experts believe that the best way forward, especially Pakistan, lies in keeping channels of dialogue open. They recommend restarting back channel diplomacy, confidence building measures. Most importantly, the cultural exchanges and bilateral trade initiatives, which at present is low. Now, these steps might not solve all the problems immediately, but they reduce the mistrust and limit the risk of sudden escalations. So you see, ultimately, the only option India has is to remain strong, alert and well prepared. But strength should not mean aggression. It should mean stability and deterrence. Military readiness combined with diplomatic wisdom is India's best chance to avoid war, protect its interests, and ensure peace for millions of people who simply want to live, grow, and prosper without the shadow of conflict. Right?